Hi, I'm Betsy, and this is CAM Matters. So, you've been elected to the board or voluntold to be on the board. You're going to have options of certification, whether you sign the perjury statement or whether you take the class. So come join us as we talk about the difference between the two.
Welcome to CAM Matters, Condos, Co-ops, HOAs, and beyond. Betsy Barbieux is an informational leader in Florida on community association living, rights, and obligations. She is an expert on the rights and obligations of owners as well as the association. If you live or are planning to live in the state of Florida, there's a good chance you'll be part of a community association. And by the end of this show, you'll know a little bit more about community associations and why they matter.
Well, hi, and welcome to CAM Matters. Suzanne Lynn with Betsy, and we're talking today, as Betsy mentioned, about why it's important for board members to get certified. And you said this is kind of an important topic that you wanted to make sure we did a whole show on. What is the overall arching message that you want to share about today?
Tagging back to one of the previous shows, a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. It's not enough. A little bit of knowledge is not enough. There are a lot of board members who come to the boards believing that they have a lot to offer, that they have a lot of experience. Some of them have a lot of corporate experience or labor union experience in leadership, and so they know how to run meetings, or they've been on school boards or city councils.
They know Robert's Rules of Law. Right. Oh, yes.
The book that gave you shivers.
Oh my gosh. And in actuality, all you need is,
pretty much one motion in Robert's Rules of Order. And there are a lot of people who are very skilled with this, and it's overkill. I'll have to show you what I've done, though, is created a one-page handout.
Is that gold or what?
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Very valuable.
Not that.
Right.
I
think a lot of us are going, woo.
You're off the hook. But the way you run businesses in business America, corporate America, we can use some of those skills, but then we can't use some of them with us.
Okay.
So board certification goes back to, again, an earlier episode or two about fiduciary duty and open meetings. And so we've got that awkward blend of board members making decisions that affect owners' assets. So therefore, the decisions cannot be in secret. So they have to be open. The meetings are open to the owners, and the owners may attend, but they don't drive the meeting.
Right.
And there's no Q&A.
They're there to observe.
They're there to observe.
Right.
They may make limited comments based on rules adopted by the board, but it's not a free flow of exchange of information. About 10 years ago, I guess, probably, or maybe even more, they changed the condominium law to require board members to be certified. And then after several years, they added it to cooperative law and added it to the HOA law, that board members had to be certified. They can certify one of two ways. They can sign a statement that's a Department of Business and Professional Regulation form. They can sign a state form.
Oh man, you got that ornery look in your eyes. What?
It says they know it all. And that they will, I'm sorry, I didn't quite put it that way, but
That got laughter from the peanut crew behind the scenes, too.
They know it all. The gallery, calm down. That they know it all, and they will faithfully fulfill their fiduciary duty, and they've read all their documents.
And they know it all.
And we call that the perjury statement.
For a good reason. That's impossible. It's unrealistic.
They don't understand how important the word fiduciary is. And most of them have not read their documents. They don't know what that is. And what
there were documents?
Oh, please. And what concerns me too, which would be an impossibility, but it doesn't say that they've even reviewed the statute.
Oh, wow.
So, they're not going to likely read their documents, and they don't know which statute
Right.
they should read.
Right. They're just signing.
So
they're just signing to please whoever.
I am starting to hear a couple of attorneys say to managers, don't just casually give this certificate to board members to casually sign, because one day, it'll come back and bite them. And so I'm hearing just a couple of attorneys saying, make it a little bit of a solemn occasion here. But the other option of certification, besides the perjury statement,
there's got to be a better option,
is to attend a class.
Well, imagine that.
How about that? So they can attend a class, and yes, I have classes.
You don't happen to know anybody, do you?
I do, I do. But you know what's happened? You know what has happened? Attorneys cannot bulk mail.
Okay.
They can't buy a list and just mail out advertisements.
Attorneys can't?
Mm-mm. Attorneys can't just mail things out.
Okay.
They can only mail things to you if you've contacted them.
I didn't know that.
So attorneys have figured out if they do the board certification class and you sign up for their certification class, and it's free, and they always have food.
Oh.
And board members come for free and food.
Sure.
And it's an attorney. So they think they're going to get legal advice.
Okay.
But what they get is their name on a list.
Right.
Now, they get good information.
Right.
But the attorney isn't going to answer any specific questions. They're going to do some general things and go through a program, PowerPoint, and a program in an hour or an hour and a half, and you're done.
Eat
but
all the
you
pizza
got a whole lot of food.
Right. It sounds like it's almost used as a tactical
marketing.
strategy to be a lead generator for them.
It's marketing for them.
Yeah.
This is where they're spending their marketing money.
Yeah.
And I can't compete with free, and I have usually M&Ms, for food.
That's right. Right.
M&Ms,
my husband was happy with that.
Cookies, M&Ms.
Yeah.
And but I'm not an attorney.
Right.
I don't. This is all I'm going to get likely from you is you to come to class. So mine aren't free, but they're $59.
Right.
And you get a 100-page resource manual, and then you get me to answer all your questions.
That's worth spending more time on. Let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk more about the benefits of booking with you and doing classes through you. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for a new career? Do you have skills or interest in management, real estate, construction, maintenance, accounting, strategic planning, project management, budgets, human resource management, lawn and landscaping, pool services, or any other expertise needed to operate a community association? If you do, community association management could be for you. For more information, feel free to email Betsy at betsy@floridacamschools.com or visit the Florida Cam Schools website at www.floridacamschools.com. Florida Community Association Management continues to grow. Career opportunities abound.
And we're back to talk about, on CAM Matters, why board members should become certified. And we were just talking about the fact that you can do free ones through attorneys, or you can book through Betsy. And I know you wouldn't tell the story, so I want to. My husband was drafted, or however you say it, to be on a board.
Voluntold.
And he went to your class because he was like, I don't know anything about this stuff. And he was absolutely wild. And he would come home where I thought it was going to be like, yeah, today we're learning. He goes, do you know how serious this is? Do you know that if you think this, but it's really like this? I mean, it's a big deal. If you're on the board, this is a big responsibility. So to go to an attorney where I know that you don't want to say anything negative.
No, there's a lot of good ones.
I'm sure there are, but this is what you do. You're not helping people who are in car accidents and slip and falls. You know what I mean? This is your thing, So can you talk about your classes?
I don't have anything to sell but education.
Right.
Attorneys.
For this one topic, for this one thing.
The board certification classes that I have and what your husband would have experienced, mine are 4 hours long.
Yeah.
I assume that you want to be educated.
Right.
And also, because I'm a trainer, I go back to the poster paper.
Yeah.
And so I take questions. When you come in, you get your 100-page resource manual. But we don't go through it. The attorneys a lot of people who come to my class have been to the attorneys' classes too. So they're trying to educate themselves. And they get the lecture. I have found that board members have questions, and I'm not going to lecture them.
Okay.
And so I take their questions, and here's how I start. And I have those big poster papers that now stick on the wall. They're big Post-it notes.
Yeah, they're like giant.
The giant ones, yeah. Just regular poster paper, but it's got sticky on it. So we put it up on the wall, and I start writing what they say. And here's what I say. Finish this sentence. Gee, I always wanted to ask somebody about, why do you do, how do we get, when do we, it said just finish the sentence. You came with questions.
Right.
I want you as a board member, or even potential board member or interested owner. Sometimes I just have interested owners come to the class. They want to know more. Sure. You came with questions. I want to address all of your questions. I might not can answer them all, and some of them might be legal, but I can also then tell you, well, this attorney that I've worked with answers it this way, and this attorney that I've worked with answers it this way. I mean, I can tell you what some of the attorneys' answers are. Right. But and then I'll say, check with your attorney.
Right. Because I don't want to give legal advice. I don't want to give legal advice.
But in going through their questions, we address all of the things that the department requires me to cover in board certification. But what I found is that board members are incredibly engaged if they get to participate in the conversation.
Of course.
Instead of blah, 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 you know, and then the 4 hours goes quickly.
Sure.
Very seldom do I have someone leave who says, gee, is time up?
Wow.
You know? I didn't realize, I wondered how I was going to sit here for 4 hours, but we could go another hour.
What this tells me is that this is not cookie cutter.
No, every one is different because what comes up on the poster paper, and what's interesting is that I can look at that list that we've created on the poster paper, and I don't go in order because some of them batch together.
Right.
And so we just go through until we finish. Pretty much. Sometimes we don't finish the poster paper questions. Sometimes we have too many other rabbit trails that shoot off from there. But it is so much fun. I love doing board training because here is a volunteer person. He could have signed the perjury statement, and he or she has chosen to come to class, and they came with questions, and I love it.
Because you know that they really care.
I love it.
So, okay, one more thing between you and then the others is, I mean, it's kind of like the difference between, you know, being a hairdresser and cutting someone's hair because you've had your hair cut. You know, I mean, this is your thing. This is what you do.
I love it.
You live it. You are very involved in different communities. You're answering, you're troubleshooting for other managers. There's really not an experience that you probably haven't gone through or can answer to. There
probably are, but not yet. I haven't found any yet. I get people who write me all the time, or they'll call me and they say, I bet you never heard of this before.
Last week on Tuesday at 10:30.
I hate to tell you, but you're not unusual. You're just that's a pretty standard issue.
Very good. Well, let's just talk about the takeaway for today's show.
Education. Education. Being on the board of directors in a community association is not going to be what you think it's going to be. And I'll just about guarantee you that the way it's always been done in your community is not quite right.
And not quite right when it comes to the law isn't quite a good idea.
Isn't good. Right. And the thing is that I think your board meetings are too long, and you're not going to get volunteers anymore.
Oh,
wow. When people start looking at spending hours and hours and hours in a board meeting and getting yelled at with out-of-control chaos, they don't know that they can set rules and parameters, and they don't know what the meeting's for, then you're not going to get people who say, gee, I want to do that. I want to do that once a month. I want to get yelled at and spend 3 hours in a horrible meeting. was talking to a group yesterday, and they have like 3 board meetings a month. They have a meeting to set the agenda, to set the agenda, and then they have the meeting. It's like, you're not going to get volunteers anymore.
Right.
Absolutely. And this is a retiree community, and retirees are getting younger. In our retirement communities. They're getting younger, and they're not going to spend that kind of time in a board meeting.
Right.
So
they want to be out on the pickleball court and having fun doing things.
You got to get your foot out of the 19th century and get it into the 21st century.
Right.
Is what I'm working with some boards. You've got to condense this and progress and run a tighter ship.
I love it. What a great way to end. All right, well, be sure to subscribe to CAM Matters so you don't miss any episodes, and share this information. Don't be afraid to go ahead and click share or just copy the link, because we want to get Betsy's information out. It's so valuable. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to CAM Matters. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. For more information, feel free to email Betsy at betsy@floridacamschools.com. or visit the Florida Cam Schools website at www.floridacamschools.com. Information provided on this show is general in nature and does not constitute legal advice. Please contact a licensed attorney for your specific situation.